Oh, so last year what we ended up doing, we just posted our all-time team, all-time Steeler offense, all-time Steeler defense, and we didn't really have like a big depth chart, just like one or two running backs, quarterback, whatever. So now what we're going to be doing is doing our all-time team, all legacy team, but we're going to be talking about our top 3 players at each position. So they will obviously rank them and things like that. So today we're going to start with the running back room. And yeah, man, I guess I'll lead it off in terms of the 3 players that I have in their depth chart status. So I have Jerome Bettis as my starting running back. Then it's followed up by Le'Veon Bell. Mm-hmm. And then my third back is Franco Harris. Now, you want to name your 3 and then we'll go ahead. I'll tell you why.
Yeah, sure,
all right, so who are your 3 in the order?
I'll go 3-1.
Man, just tell your daggone starter is, man. He's being all difficult in here.
All right, Le'Veon's 1.
Mm-hmm.
Bus is 2. Franco's 3.
I like it. Even though I'm a little surprised because when you did our Steelers all-time team, you have Bus 1, Franco 2.
No,
you had Franco 1.
No,
Bus
I think
2.
you had Franco in there.
I don't know.
You might have had Bell and Franco. Did you have Bell?
I had Le'Veon. I know for a fact I had Le'Veon. You had Bus and Franco.
No. I had Bell and Bus. I had Bell and Bus.
Yeah, because I'm always a Le'Veon dude, man.
Yeah. So wait, did yours change then? Maybe.
I don't know. I thought I could have sworn I looked at yours. I thought yours changed. Yeah, I've always been a Le'Veon dude, man.
I had Bell and Bus. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But yeah, man. So the reason why I got Jerome starting, obviously, man, the 13,000 rushing yards, 91 touchdowns, 1,400 receiving, 3 touchdowns. I wasn't a fan of the fumbles though. The 41 fumbles that definitely gave me a little bad taste, and similar to with Franco, which is why Franco is my third on my list because he's had 90 career fumbles.
Wait, hold on. Wait, who'd you say had the 40 fumbles?
41 fumbles?
Yeah.
Jerome.
Yeah, I don't know what stats I'm looking at then. I had him at 28 somewhere, but yeah, I mean,
41 career
either way,
fumbles.
yeah.
Franco had 90 career fumbles.
I saw 90 for Franco.
Yeah, and then Le'Veon's at 9. I'm like, bro, I need ball security, man. Like, period.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I couldn't believe when I saw the 90 fumbles.
I said, holy cow! Like, whoa.
Because my whole debate or my whole thing was between Franco and the Bus because their numbers are a lot more similar.
But they both played 13 years.
They played longer. Yes,
longer.
It's kind of like, what are you looking for? If you're looking for, I'm starting a team tomorrow. I want a guy in its prime for a season. Then Bell's the choice. But it's kind of on what you're looking for, and I guess you got to weigh that.
I guess for me, the way I looked at it was this. I said the running numbers, the 12,000 to 13,000 for Franco and Bus, I said with both of those guys back then, they were heavy volume carry guys. We know that.
Bus even more than Franco.
Right.
That was like the 90s.
Yeah, like that was that era. And I said they both played 7 years more than Le'Veon. Le'Veon has essentially half of those rushing yards. But at the same time, Le'Veon, when we look at it from a receiving standpoint, he has more receiving yards than both of these dudes. Yep. One less receiving touchdown. And barring Le'Veon just absolutely like losing ability to hold the ball, I don't see him or anticipating him ever coming close to Jerome's or Franco's fumble numbers.
Yeah.
So that's why for me, I felt like Le'Veon, man, I could argue that he could be the starting running back. But for me, I was like, it's something about the longevity, 13 seasons. We saw Le'Veon's productivity take a hit this year with the Jets offense. So it's hard for me to gauge which that's going to look like going forward. Is he going to stay in the same situation? Is it going to change in New York? Is he going to end up going somewhere else? Who knows?
But then how much are we weighing other teams'
Well,
success?
for me,
like, are we weighing in the Bus's Rams year?
I put them all
years,
together.
I'm sorry.
I put it all in together because I said, man, as long as you played your 1 year here, I'm going to look at your whole career versus just looking at your Steeler numbers. Okay. And that was like my whole point with this, because obviously Franco had the last year, I think it was in Seattle, and it wasn't the best. But,
I mean, that was last year.
Yeah, but I'm like, man, I still, if we got the yards, got whatever, put it in there. So that's kind of how I looked at it, man. But in terms of, it's hard comparing the different generations, because with Franco, sometimes they classify him as like a fullback. With Jerome, we talked about in the 90s, that style of play versus the type of athlete that Le'Veon is. Like, neither one of those guys are even close to the type of athlete that he is. But I don't know I personally don't think that Le'Veon is the same type of runner in terms of the bruising style, the war of attrition that Jerome and Franco are.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty interesting question. If you were starting a team in the 80s or 90s versus now.
Yeah. Even though I do feel guys from this generation, it's easier for them to play in those generations, those eras. Whereas I think it's a little bit tough for those era guys to play here. And this is what I'm saying. So with Le'Veon, he's a freak athlete. He can make you miss. That works in any generation. He's average speed here, but back then, he's probably going to be a lot faster than those guys who are doing this. I mean, with Franco's era, those guys weren't doing it full time. This dude trains year round.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's easier for a guy like him to go back then. You think about even, because I know people say, well, some of the receivers are soft nowadays, man. You can't touch them, this and that. Le'Veon's catching the ball out the backfield. All that goes out the window. Now you're looking at some of these linebackers having to play in space versus that. That's different. That's scary. So for me, I think like he could play any of these generations. With Jerome, I wonder, okay, what would that look like now? Would that look like a Brandon Jacobs when he had his hot season with the Giants? Would it look like Jamal Lewis?
Yeah.
Would it look like that one Peyton Hillis year? Like, because now with the way these defenders are, how big they are, how strong they are, how fast they are, you're not just running through these guys.
Who is the big guy right now? Most recently I could think of is Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did have a good run with the Packers, but right now, who's like Marshawn Lynch recently too, but he wasn't like Bus or Lacy.
No. And Lacy was like a smaller version of Jerome, man.
Yeah.
Jerome was like
wide.
Thick.
Yeah.
Like,
sweetest feet though.
Yo, crazy feet.
Yeah, who's the guy? Is there a guy right now where you're like,
no, man, because most people are leaning towards like leaner, more
just
athletic.
Even like a bigger guy though.
Yeah.
That's like the workworse.
Jeez, no, because
we can move on from this. I'll look it up.
Like Garrett, he could have been in there, but he's not in the league anymore.
It's still not like no Bus. Like Bus would be like an outlier now, like a specialty. Yeah. I mean, he was kind of later in his career for the 15-1 season, the Super Bowl run, where we'd bring him in more for like the goal line.
Right.
Although the 15-1 year, he had like 800 or 900 yards. Yeah. He was like 31 or 32. That was like kind of a crazy year. No one was really expecting from him. I'm gonna check the running backs right now.
Because I don't know any bigger body guys who would fit Jerome's style per se.
Yeah, like that's the thing. We're trying to imagine, could he fit in right now? What would he be doing?
Towards like the smaller backs, the guys who can catch out the backfield, the Kamaras, the McCaffreys, Zeke. No, because Zeke definitely isn't big like that. I don't think there are any more plus size running backs. Using the word that Zach Mann likes to say, man.
Fournette, no. Ingram, he looks slim though.
No, Ingram is not like that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I can't.
It's a different.
I can't,
now,
dude.
Man.
Yeah, Henry. I'm just going off the
Henry's like a big back, but
top 10 like rushing yards here. Henry, Chubb, Jacobs, McCaffrey, Elliott, Chris Carson, Dalvin Cook, Lamar Jackson, Kenyon Drake, Marlon Mack, Barkley, Fournette. Dude, yeah, it's like nothing.
Not even close.
Nothing, man.
But I think that's what made Jerome, though, man. The fact that he could be that big, but still be that nimble, have feet that sweet, man. The vision and stuff like that, like that's rare.
No, it definitely is. And so, what's you have Bell at 2, you have Bettis at 1, and then Franco at 3.
Yeah, for me, like I said, the sole reason why Franco's at 3, man, is the 90 fumbles, bro.
Yeah,
that's a ton of fumbles. And I don't know, obviously, I wasn't watching Franco film growing up.
No.
But it's like, I need to see, like, what was going on with these 90 fumbles, man?
No, yeah.
Like, because that's alarming.
It was, and I thought I was reading the internet wrong.
I thought I read it wrong, too, and I'm checking multiple sources, like, hold on, bro, whoa, this is for real. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. So the reason I got Bell 1 versus the other 2, my main debate was between Bettis and Franco for the second slot, but I have Bell in front of those guys just based off that he is 2 All-Pros and he has 3 Pro Bowls, whereas the other 2, see, that's the thing. Bettis has 2 All-Pros as well, but one of them was with the Rams.
The reason why I didn't even go that route, I said, these are Hall of Famers.
No.
It's like I'm not about to listen. It's hard for me to say, I get All-Pro versus the Pro Bowls and all. I'm like, bro, these gold jackets.
The only reason I say All Pro, that means all right, you're top 3 at your position,
correct,
top 2 at your position. Yeah. So Bell had that 2 times with the Steelers in his young career already, whereas Franco only had that once.
Correct.
Bettis did have it twice, like I said. That I wasn't really considering his Rams years, but his rookie year, I think he was also an All Pro. But then if you look at that, if you're going Bell Bettis, all right, they have 2 All Pros, so they were top 1 or 2 at their position for a certain amount of years. Dude, Bell's like just raw yards is outstanding. Crazy. Whenever you combine the receiving yards and the rushing yards.
The one thing I did too, I started looking at who had the better one season. Like if we had to go like, whose one seasons were better. I was like, Le'Veon. It was insane.
When
bro.
you combine it, was his 1 year was over 2,200 yards.
Like that's nuts, man.
And then the other 2 wherever he was healthy, because
he was still missing time. Yeah,
because his rookie year he didn't come in until like the 4th or 5th game, and then I think it was his 3rd years when he got hurt and D'Angelo came in, so he wasn't able to put up numbers like that. But the 2 healthy years. The one was in the like 1800s and the other one was in the 1900s when you combine
that 14 season and that I think it was 17 season. Those insane.
Yeah, so that's why
insane, bro.
That's why I got him just above Bus, because he was the best back or 2 in the league for that amount of time.
Absolutely, he definitely was, man. Like clear cut, hands down. Like he was the guy.
I don't know. Maybe this is someone could call us out on it. I don't know if Bettis was ever viewed like
as
that,
like the best running back right now. Because I mean, he still played in a time where you had Emmitt Smith. You had I'm trying to think some of the other like all time great running backs during that era.
But he did have a good like 2 or 3 year stretch. Obviously, the Rams rookie year was crazy, but he had a good like where you're like, all right, this guy's definitely top 3 probably. For the Steelers, I think it was like in the mid 90s.
He retired in 11 or no, he 8. Oh wait, he retired, right?
No. Bettis?
Jerome,
No, 05. It was after the Super Bowl.
Right? That's
40.
What I'm saying. Yeah. Okay, I would say he didn't even play that to. Oh wait, I'm thinking
no.
The Super Bowls before then. So yeah, if he played to 05, I'm trying to think. All right, so 05,
95, 96, 97 is probably
because I'm trying to see.
I can look it up. Yeah,
I'm trying to see how was his overlap from guys like Thurman, guys like I'm trying to think of another back that was during that time, man. Like during those 90s and stuff. That. That's what I'm trying to see. Like, was he in during that time frame? Because it's hard to say that like I said, we knew that Le'Veon was 1 or 2 each year when he was out there. And people started making the conversation about Zeke. They had the 1 year where they tried to bring in David Johnson, but it was still clear cut like, yo, he's the guy. So I'm trying to see, like, compared to those other backs.
I'll pull it up right now because I was looking this up before we got here, but that's kind of my point. Even with Bell versus Bettis, though, even if you have those stretches where Bettis maybe he was top 3 or 4, just the raw ability and the stats that Le'Veon was putting up, both rushing and receiving, season, that's why I would take Bell over Bettis. But hold on, here we go. We got Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk, Thomas, Terrell Davis, Curtis Martin, Marcus Allen, although I think he was more 80s. Eddie George. So, yeah, I mean, you got...
So that's my thing. It's like, how do we say, like, with those guys that we're just naming right now, during Jerome's career was... and maybe, like I said, some of the listeners or viewers, they can help us out with this because the older crowd, they're going to know, like, hey, man, we're watching and this guy was viewed as the guy. We know the Le'Veon because we're seeing, like, hey, man, Le'Veon was viewed as the guy in the league. Like, that was... league-wide, clear, like, yo, he's the guy. So I want to know, like, all right, was Franco viewed like that? Was Jerome viewed?
Yeah, Franco. I had Franco's up. You had dudes like O.J. Simpson, Walter Payton.
Juice.
Yeah, that's the thing it's interesting about Franco's career. If you look at it, it was really the longevity versus you have O.J. He had like a 3-4 year run where it was nuts, but then he doesn't have the longevity like Franco. So there's all those different factors. I've been talking about OJ.
I'm like, bro, dude, did you really just?
He was in the list, man.
He had a couple of get in.
I didn't want to say Walter Payton because Walter Payton's just the guy. You know what I mean? Man, you can't really compare to him.
The boy watched what documentary? We getting all the OJ drops for you now, man.
I have been dropping OJ. Dude, so it sounds like you're swaying for putting Bell 1. Are you sticking with the Bus's longevity?
Okay. Yeah.
But so that's we just have different reasonings for that. Mm-hmm. But then my thing with Bettis and Franco was, like you said, the 90 fumbles.
Yeah, the ball security, that's
where I was like,
holy cow, what is going on?
I was like, damn. So that was really the main factor because their numbers are pretty similar.
Oh, I mean, and 1,000 yard different in rushing. But Franco, Bus had more rushing. Franco had more receiving yards, more receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't...
Both had 91 rushing touchdowns.
That was really the only knock I had in that argument. I remember at the time, whenever we did the list, I just liked Bettis better. So I put Bettis at number 2. And just, it was more of a feel thing. Like, all right, if I need someone to run the rock, I'm giving it to Bus.
And now I think I remember why I did put Bettis and Franco. I didn't think of if I need a person to go ahead and run the rock right now. I'm looking at all the time and I'm saying these two guys are gold jacket guys. Whereas Le'Veon...
I think you had Bell in it, though.
I don't think so.
Hold on, let me
check. Yeah, because I looked at it last night, man.
We're doing a lot of checking, man.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see.
Because we'd have done that. That would have been like June, maybe. May or June.
Hold on. Hold on 1 second, man.
Because I know Franco was on one of our lists, man. I just don't remember
I think he was on yours, dude.
Yeah.
And then you might have swapped it here. Hold on, let's see. I'm trying to like keep this going so I don't have to edit anything out. All right, here we go.
Hey man, everybody does this nowadays, man.
All right, here we go. So mine, I have Bell at 1, Bus at 2.
Mm-hmm.
You have Franco at 1, Bus at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I thought you had Le'Veon on it, though.
Because for me, I remember saying to myself...
You were just thinking all time.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, these dudes are gold jacket guys. You're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And until you get that, I can't place you above those guys on a all-time... Like, because that's what we looked at that. We weren't looking at it how we're doing right here in terms of, if we're going out here to play this game right now, who do I need?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think that's how I always look at it.
Yeah, so for me, I look at it like when I say all-time team, just like, okay, best career, each position. That's how I view that list. This right here, I'm looking like, okay, if we're playing in a game and I got to have my depth chart, who am I rolling with? How am I doing it? That's kind of how I do it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why for me, I'm like, I know Jerome, he's a bruiser. He's going to punish you.